Well, good morning. Back at one of my favorite places, up on the north end of the trap line. It's where I caught the double on otter earlier in the season. I got a couple landowners in here. I'm trying to fill the quota on the beaver tails for the bounties. And I'm gonna get in here and see if I can't tear it apart. Should have most of them caught, but the 2-year-olds are dispersing, so there should be some sign around. We'll get down to the boat ramp and get the day started. Come to where I'm gonna put set number 1. Finding some active beaver sign, and I know this crossover goes to a pond. And I caught a female otter here last time I was in here. I've already got my anchor drove in, and set number 1 is going to be where I'm putting the hammers number 3, fully modified Douglas 4 coil. I'm going to put a little of my Alpha Delta and a little Marciata's otter lure on this crossover. Hopefully we'll get some attention and make a catch here. But I'll get this set finished and keep moving. That's a heck of a crossover. There's a look at the finished set from a distance. There's that crossover, comes out right up through there. The cable running out here. Deepest waters I can get to, and there's my metal stake, just barely sticking out of the water. But that's a 16-foot cable, and the hammer Trapline Products modified number 3. I'll get down and find a place to put in set number 2. Well, right here is the first set coming out to the drowner cable, stake deep end. Just above there, I found this fresh caster mount. Fresh. Say it rained last night. This is fresh mud. I'm gonna give him something to check out. I'm gonna be bedding a TS85. There's my Bigfoot soft mud anchor, about 4 times the size of a wolf fang. And it really does a good job in these soft mud bottoms. I'm gonna bed my trap right here, a little offset. Fence this off a little better than what the beaver's already done, and give them a target right here to approach. I'm going to put a little fresh mud up here and some of my Alpha Delta, or what Scab called it, beaver crack. I'll get this set put in, we'll take a look at it. This is the beaver caster mount. I'll put another stick or 2 up here, kind of blended it in where they don't want to go that way, too many sticks. I'll put a little bit more mud up here. I have bedded a TS85 right in front of it, and taking some Alpha Delta that I make, put up on the mound, a little on top, a little on the side, approaching it. I was asked one time, how come you dope up the beaver's existing caster mounts? Well, it's simple. You go out in the woods deer hunting, you hunt the trails and scrapes and rubs, or you just go out in the woods and sit down somewhere and hope to kill something. I know they're using this travel set and pattern, so this is what I'm going to pique their curiosity to come check it out. I'll keep moving down. What I have found is a crossover. There's a long peninsula of woods that runs right beside the river over here. This is the closest gap where something don't have to go out and swim way out around the peninsula to keep moving down the river. And they have got a crossover right here, as opposed to having to swim way out around the island. Everything will swim up here, run across this little crossover and back into the river. I'm going to bed a trap right here. When they come across that crossover, hit that first step or first step on or first step in, should make a catch right here. But otter are notorious for making shortcuts, as opposed to having to swim around a long curve in the river or a barrier. They'll make a shortcut. But I'm going to put a trap in right here. I've already drug this log up to fence this off. Should put everything right here. I'm taking an existing castor mound area. I've scooped this out, brought it up here. I'm gonna put some Alpha Delta castor lure on it. I've already got the cable anchor driven in. I'm gonna be bending PS85. This one should get hit too. This is that little cove that leads to that crossover where the otters were running across the little peninsula. A castor mound will take an otter, and it will take a beaver, and of course it'll take a raccoon. But I'll get some castor up here, get the trap bedded, get it anchored, and keep moving down. Well, the beaver have a ditch going right through here. I put a 330 right here, fenced it off a little. Going to that giant mound of a castor mound. I doped it up. There's not enough water out here to drown, but I did put the 330 right here and fenced it off. Hopefully it'll hit, and I'm gonna keep moving down. But this is the ditch the beaver's using to get in and out of here. We'll find out tomorrow if it hits. Just coming into this giant castor mound. There's a lot of fresh tracks here, but they're just broadcast, just intermittent all through there. This is a worn out trail coming down right here. If you can tell, there's no silt right here. This is where the majority of this is where the trap needs to be. This is still showing signs of brown bottom and silt being on it. This would be target number 1 for me. I'm going to put the set in right there, and I'll take a look at it in a few minutes. But you can just tell by there being no silt in the sand, this is where I need to put the set. I took a boat paddle, scooped me out of bed, fenced in this little wall area, dug out the trap bed, got it castored on this trail and wetted in. I got my cable drowner anchored. I'm gonna run out here to deep water, deep as I can get to. It'll probably still be ticked when I get here tomorrow, but it's not real deep. I found this castor mound over knee high and probably 4.5 feet wide. I had to set it. I'll move down. On this next set, I have taken a dive stick, set it across the trail they're using to get in and out of here. On these castor mounds, I have doped up this castor mound, taking the H stand, shoved it down in there, and using that to support the dive stick across there. Hopefully they'll duck under it and right into the 330. At least that's the hope anyway. Not enough water to drown, and this is the ditch right here where it's fenced off. And the bottom has a deep dish right here where they're coming through. Maybe they'll duck under the dive stick into 330. We'll find out in the morning. I've added another dive stick just to make sure they get the point. They need to duck under it instead of try to climb over it. But that's right in the ditch. 330 set solid. Hopefully we'll hit here tonight. I think I'm gonna head back to the truck. I'll bring some more in here tomorrow. It's starting to rain and getting much colder. I'll get out of here. How on earth can a deer swim a river that fast? I couldn't catch in the canoe, and all they're paddling with is toothpicks. It's going right up through there. Good grief. I couldn't catch in the canoe. I was trying to get up close to film it.